Selling bundles is the most underrated way to make a killing on Amazon in 2024. And my number one bundle is currently making me over $3,000 per month in gross profit. And I found it using the exact method that I'm about to show you guys here in a second. So for those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Corey Ganem. I've sold over $12 million on Amazon in the last 6.5 years using the wholesale business model. And this channel was created to help other people create a profitable Amazon wholesale business just like mine. So in this video, you guys will see me using a bundle calculator, which is a template that I created in Google Sheets, and I use it to analyze bundles for profitability. So if you want a fully free copy of this template, you can grab it at the link in the description below. So let's jump right into my screen and we will do some real world bundle research showing you guys exactly how I find these bundles. So let me share my screen here. And you guys can see we are here in SmartScout. So SmartScout is my favorite Amazon product research tool by far. I've been a customer of theirs for about 3 years. And if you guys want a 25% discount off your first 3 months of SmartScout, you can grab that discount link at the description of this video. And guys, one thing I want to preface is the tier of SmartScout that you need in order to do this research is the business tier. Okay, so I'm going to show that to you guys real quick. SmartScout has 4 different pricing tiers. You're going to need the business tier, which if you subscribe yearly comes out to about $158 per month. Because if we scroll down here, you see that the traffic graph tool, which is the tool that I use to find my bundles, is only included in that business tier. So again, $158 a month, but I found a bundle that is making me $3,000 per month in profit using this method. So the ROI is very clear here, right? So we'll get right into the tool and how it works. So inside of SmartScout, you're going to come over here to the traffic graph tool, which again is only included in the business tier of SmartScout. We're going to open the tool and I'm going to explain to you guys how this tool works, and then I'm going to show you a real world example, okay? So we'll give this thing a second to load, and what you're going to see here is you're going to see a bunch of different products almost in like a map format, right? So the example that SmartScout gives us is keto chocolate. So you can use either an ASIN here or you can use a keyword, and what the traffic graph tool will show you is where is the traffic coming from on these listings from other products. All right, so let me give you an example of what that looks like. So on another tab here, I pulled up a listing for a Kirkland Fancy Mixed Nuts 40-ounce product. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a Costco fanatic. I spend all my money at Costco and I love their Kirkland brand products, so I thought it was a great example to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy the ASIN for this listing, copy that ASIN there, come back to the traffic graph, and I'm going to put that ASIN here in the search. So I can give you a little bit of a more specific example of how this process works. So you start by finding a product that you think you might be able to bundle or that might be a good bundling opportunity. And I happen to know that Kirkland brand products are easy to get. Costco does not sell on Amazon, right? So there's minimal competition from the brand. There's minimal competition from Amazon themselves because Kirkland as a brand has hundreds of third-party listings that we could sell individually, which makes it a really good bundling opportunity. So you see I put in the ASIN in question here, right? And now the ASIN in question is always going to be in this orange circle, right? So right here we've got our ASIN that we put in. Now let's scroll in a little bit, right? So we're hovering over the ASIN. SmartScout is giving us a lot of really good information about the product, giving us the ASIN, the brand name, the rank, the category, number of sellers, all these things. And so what it's also giving us is it's pointing to some other products that Amazon claims are frequently bought together. Okay, so when I put in this ASIN, this salted mixed nuts, the SmartScout traffic graph is telling me, hey Corey, this is the ASIN that you entered, and Amazon is also telling us that customers often buy this product with this one, right? And Amazon's also telling us that customers often buy this product with this one, all right? And you see they've got a couple of numbers here above the arrows. So I'm actually going to click on one of the products that it's pointing towards, right? And you're gonna see a traffic strength score. Now we see we got a couple of different products here that Amazon thinks are linked to the one that we clicked on. Now guys, the COO of SmartScout did explain to me what the traffic strength score means exactly. It is kind of complex without, because I don't want to confuse you guys, suffice it to say that the higher the traffic strength score, the more likely that that product is purchased with the one that you entered, right? So remember, the product that we entered here is this salted mixed nuts. We clicked on the cashews. we pull it up here, and Amazon is giving us SmartScout is giving us a traffic strength score of 1,486 for those two ASINs, right? So in my opinion, a lot of you are probably going to ask, well, what is a good traffic strength score, right? What should we look for? Anything over 1,000 is, in my opinion, going to be pretty strongly correlated and tell you that, hey, there is a bundling opportunity here, right? Now, it doesn't guarantee that if you bundle products together that have a traffic strength score of over 1,000 that it's going to take off, but it can give you a pretty good idea of what products are at least bought together, right? And now think about it logically too. So the ASIN that we entered here, it's a salted mixed nuts, right? And now SmartScout is telling us that the Kirkland cashews also has a very strong traffic strength score. So logically speaking, if I'm putting myself in the customer's shoes, and let's say I like Kirkland mixed nuts, am I logically likely to buy a bundle of salted mixed nuts with Kirkland cashews? Probably, right? They're both nuts, they're both Kirkland brand, they're not the same product, right? It's not a multi-pack, we're bringing something new to the market. So from a logical perspective, this bundle makes sense, okay? So this is kind of the first idea that we're gonna use that we're gonna try to validate here. We're quickly gonna validate it on Amazon and see if there are any existing bundles like this out there already. And then we're gonna go into our bundle calculator and see what this looks like from a profitability perspective. Okay, so what I personally like to do to test out my bundles first is I want to see, does anybody else already have this idea, right? Is there already an existing bundle for Kirkland cashews and Kirkland salted mixed nuts together? Because if there is, then I'm not going to be the first person to bring that to market, and I'm going to be creating basically a Me Too product that is not likely to do very well, especially if the existing bundle is already selling well. So let's go over here to Amazon. And let's go into the grocery and gourmet food category. And let's actually be a little more specific. So instead of typing Kirkland, let's type in Kirkland nuts and see what comes up. And guys, remember, I am looking for an existing bundle of this product and this product. If I find it, then I'm probably going to move on to the next idea. If I don't find it, then that tells me, all right, these products seem to be bought together pretty frequently. They make sense logically. If I can bring that bundle to market as the first seller with that type of bundle, then I have a pretty good chance of selling some units, assuming I create my listing properly. All right, so come back over here to Kirkland Nuts. So first we're seeing the sponsored listings, which we're gonna ignore. So again, I see our product right here, the salted mixed nuts by itself. And as we can see, it sells really well, right? It's ranked 6K by itself, which is good because we want the individual components of our bundle to be selling well by themselves, which this one clearly is. So I do see a bundle here, which is more like a multi-pack, or a 2-pack of the unsalted mixed nuts. I'm seeing a mixed nuts and a salted mixed nuts, but ours is a cashews, right? So that's not the same there. I'm seeing a multi-pack there. And just for the sake of brevity, guys, I am going to scroll through these pretty quickly. Whether or not this idea makes sense or not, I don't know. I'm just doing it for the sake of the example. So I see a 6-pack of the mixed nuts. I see a mixed nuts and cashews. But again, this particular mixed nuts is the 40 ounce, where I think ours is a different size, right? Ours is a 40 ounce, but it's different packaging. So it's not quite the same bundle. Scrolling down here a little more, again, I'm not seeing an existing bundle for the exact 2 products that we created or that we found. Again, I'm really not seeing somebody that has already created this exact bundle. I'm seeing a lot of multi-packs, right, for the individual components that we were looking at. And the multi-packs seem to be doing well, right? This is for a 4-pack of those nuts, selling at $82. It's got 10 reviews. It's not selling crazy good, but it's not selling bad. I see, another 6-pack listing, which is again basically the same product. I'm seeing a 2-pack listing for that mixed nuts, 17K in grocery, selling over 500 units a month. So everything is telling me that, hey, these 2 products sell really well on their own. So again, because they make sense as a bundle, logically speaking, then that is a potentially a good bundle opportunity. So I don't see that anybody else has brought this bundle to market. So let's jump right into our bundle calculator and see if we can run some quick numbers. Now I'm gonna go ahead and actually open these up in a new tab. So let's see here, guys, 1 second. All right, so now that I've got each of these open in a new tab, each of the individual listings, let's pop into our bundle calculator and run some quick numbers. So again, guys, if you want a free copy of this calculator, you can grab it at the link in the description below. This is something that you guys can use to calculate the profitability on your bundles. So you'll notice here on the side, I've got some notes as far as what I look for each of these points, right? So this is what, a 10-point calculator that's gonna factor in all of your costs for your bundle. So I like to start with my target sale price, right? Now keep in mind, our target sale price is different from our initial sale price. Because guys, when I launch a new bundle, I try to price it at break even just to make some quick sales, just to get some quick reviews. And once I have some reviews under my belt, once that listing has some traction, then I'm gonna raise my price to my target sale price and let it sit there, okay? So let's figure out what a target sale price is gonna look like. So if we come over here to these two listings individually, so this one, it looks like the average buy box price here is around $23, $24, $25. So I think that for this individual component, we'll say about $25. And let me pull up my calculator here. So we're gonna have a $25 price tag on that component. This particular product looks like the buy box also hovers around $25. So we're gonna add another $25 there for a $50 price tag. And guys, what I'm about to talk about next is the key when it comes to bundling. All right, so this video is not going to go into detail about how do you create the bundles, how do you get brand registry, how do you decide on a value add item. That's outside the scope of this video. But guys, just keep in mind that when we create a bundle, we want to be bringing something of value to the market. It's not enough just to throw these in a bundle together and then put them out in the marketplace. We've got to include a value added item that is truly going to add value to the customer that buys this bundle, okay? So think about this for a second. We're gonna be bundling two nuts together, essentially, right? We got cashews and we got a mixed nuts. So what is an item that we could think of that a customer that's buying this bundle would benefit from? So the first thing that comes to mind is, well, what about a scooper, right? Chances are these, I mean, this is a big thing of nuts, both of these are, a customer would need something to scoop them out of the jar, right? Instead of just digging their hands in and getting their hands all salty. So when we think about it for a second, a scooper that we will put our own brand name on in order to list it under our own brand on Amazon, that scooper, think about how much value that would add to the bundle, right? In terms of perceived value, not just our cost. So to use the same example, one of those scoopers might cost us, say $1.50 or maybe $2 to get that made, in China with our brand name on it to then bundle with these products. But in terms of the perceived value to the customer, I would have to think that by having a scooper included in the bundle, that would increase the perceived value by probably at least $10, right? So if each of the components on their own, we can sell for about $25. When we bundle them together, that's about $50. If we include, again, our own value-added item, which is our scooper, that adds another about $10 in perceived value to the bundle. And now guys, when I say $10, that's not going off of any data. That's just me thinking logically, right? As far as like how much value would a customer put on that particular item. So let's say that our target sale price of our two bundled units and our value add item would be about $60, all right? So again, it's 25 per component plus 10 for our scooper is gonna give us a target price of about $60, okay? So we enter that there and you'll see how based on the factors that we put here, which we'll touch on here shortly, that automatically adjusted our calculations so that we know whether or not this is a viable opportunity. So again, our target sale price is what we want to sell the product at once we have some reviews, once we have some traction. Now, let's think about our cost of goods sold, okay? So in my experience, when creating bundles, I want my cost of goods sold to be 40% of my target sale price or less, all right? So the lower you can get your cost of goods sold as a percentage of your revenue, the more margin that you're gonna have, the more you'll be able to spend on ads, and just the more profitable you're gonna be, all right? So in this case, let's just assume that that my cost of goods here is 40% of my target sale price, all right? So 15 divided by 60, I believe is 40, oh, that's 25%. So let's say 60 times 0.4 would make our cost of goods about $24, okay? Now guys, keep in mind, I have not done this particular calculation before. This might be a great bundle, this might be a terrible bundle, right? I don't know, so we're just going through this as an exercise to show you guys how this works. So let's assume that our cost of goods sold is going to be 40% of our target sale price, which puts it at about $24. Now, me personally, my best bundle, my cost of goods sold is about 36% of my sale price, right? Now, I have other bundles where my cost of goods sold is, say, 42% of my target sale price. It's going to vary depending on the product. So we got our cost of goods at about 40%. Now let's talk about our shipping costs to our 3PL or our prep center. So my business model, I only use prep centers. I don't do any of my own prep. So I've got to factor in the cost to ship the components from my supplier to my prep center. Now, I like to be ultra conservative and estimate that my shipping cost from my supplier to my prep center is going to be about 50 cents per pound. Okay. Now, if you're getting free shipping from your supplier, then obviously this would be zero. But in my experience, a lot of my suppliers charge shipping. So I like to be conservative and estimate 50 cents per pound that I'm going to pay in shipping from my supplier to my prep center. So we got to figure out how much is this whole thing going to weigh, right? So if we come over here and look at the listing, we see the product weight here is 2.5 pounds. Product weight here also 2.5 pounds. So it's about 5 pounds, right? And let's keep in mind our the cost of our value add item as well, right? So again, because this value add item is something that we're going to be able to source off of Alibaba or off of AliExpress, it's going to be negligible as far as the shipping costs. And guys, I did bake in the cost of my value add item into this COGS, right? So your COGS is going to be your total cost of goods, including your bundled items and your value add item. So again, let's just assume that the total weight of the bundle is about 5 pounds, which makes, if we're doing it 50 cents per pound, that would be $2.50 per unit, right? So 5 pounds times 50 cents per pound gives us about $2.50 per unit in shipping that we're going to pay from our supplier to our prep center. All right, so we come in here and we make that $2.50. Now let's talk about our shipping cost to Amazon, okay? So 30 cents per pound is how much you're probably going to pay if you're shipping just via UPS, right? Small parcel delivery, and it's only going to go down from there on average. So again, I like to be ultra conservative. Let's assume that we're going to do just a test order for this bundle. We're not going to be shipping out pallets of this thing at a time. We're just going to start with a few case packs. So if we're estimating 30 cents per pound on a 5-pound bundle, then I think we're talking about $1.50, right? So 5 pounds times 0.3 is $1.50 per unit. $1.50 right there. All right. So now let's talk about our prep costs. Because remember, I don't do my own prep. I pay a prep center to handle that for me. And how much is that prep center going to charge me to prep this bundle? So let's think about it. So because this is a multi-pack, right? So I've got my 2 bundle components and I've got my scooper that we talked about. That's going to be a 3-unit multi-pack essentially, or a 3-unit bundle. Just to be conservative, I'm going to assume that my prep center is going to charge me minimum $1.50 per bundle to prep that, to kit that together, and to send that to Amazon. Now, I have a note here that says start at $1.50, right? That's going to be your baseline, and then add 10 cents for each additional bundle component. So again, because I've got my bundle is 2 units plus my 3rd unit is my scooper, I'm going to add that extra 10 cents to account for that 3rd unit. All right, so let's make that $1.60. And then, oops, so we made that $1.60. Now let's talk about our Amazon fees and our PPC cost. So typically, your Amazon fees are going to be about 30% of your target sale price, all right, or 30% of your total revenue. I believe my personal Amazon fees are right around 28.5%, but that's because I tend to sell products that have a higher average sale price. So for most of you watching this, 30% is going to be a good estimate. And for the sake of this video, I'm going to estimate my fees at about 30% of my target sale price. So that's why we've got this factor component here. So let's just say I want to estimate my Amazon fees at my true average Amazon fees of 28.5%. Well, that's going to change that figure to about 1710, and it's going to round up, right? So let's just put 30 again, just to be conservative. Now, when it comes to our PPC cost, this is something that those of you watching this might say, well, I don't want to do any PPC, right? I just want to let this thing rank organically, sell organically, and not have to worry about PPC. If that's you, then that's fine. You can make the 0, right? But just know that for these bundles to really get them launched on the right foot, it does help to put some sort of PPC spend behind them. Now, once they're ranking organically, once they're making sales, PPC is not 100% required, but it will definitely help if you're doing it efficiently. So personally, I found that my PPC cost per unit is going to be in the range of 10 to 15% on some of these bundles. Now, realistically, it could be a little lower than that. It might even be a little higher than that, but 15% is a good estimate. So this is basically telling me, hey, Corey, it's going to cost you $9 per unit in ad spend to make a sale initially. Now, that seems really high, right? And it probably is. But again, just to be ultra conservative and just for the sake of the exercise, we're going to assume a 15% of our target sale price is going to be our ad spend, all right? So we've got about $9 per unit in ad spend here. Our total cost, right, which is going to factor in our COGS, our shipping to our 3PL, our shipping to Amazon, our prep fee, our Amazon fee, and our PPC fee is going to be $56.60. So we're all in to make a sale is going to cost us $56.60. So that's going to give us a dollar profit of $3.40 per unit, or a gross margin of about 6%. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that is way too low of a gross margin for me. So let's talk about what would make this a better bundle, right? So you can see here in my notes, I've actually put that my goal on all of my bundles is minimum 20% gross margin. If a bundle is going to make me less than a 20% gross margin, then we either need to play with our cost or try to get a discount to get it there, or we've got to evaluate an entirely new bundle opportunity. So let's think about this for a second. So first of all, we know that these are heavy products, right? These are 2.5 pounds each, which makes our shipping cost to our 3PL $2.50 per unit. So one of the things that we could do to make this a viable bundle opportunity is we could try to negotiate with our supplier to get free shipping, right? So let's just assume that our supplier is willing to ship this order for free to our 3PL, making our shipping cost to our 3PL $0. So if we get free shipping from our supplier, then that bumps up our profit to $5.90 per unit, and it gives us a gross margin of about 10%. All right. Then what if we are able to negotiate with our prep center, because we tell them, hey guys, this bundle, if it takes off, we're going to be sending you a lot of these. This is going to be a really consistent product for you. Can we get a flat $1 per unit prep cost on these bundles, right? Now, will a prep center go for that? They might not. But let's just assume for the sake of the argument that you can negotiate a flat $1 per ASIN prep fee on this product. We come up here and adjust that to $1, which raises our gross margin to about 11%. Now, at this point, guys, the only other factors that we really have control over to adjust our cost is going to be our PPC cost, and that's about it, right? Because our inbound shipping to Amazon is probably going to stay right around that number. Even if we get the shipping much cheaper, it's not going to do a ton to move the needle on the profitability. So let's just assume, guys, that we can be really efficient with our ad spend and get it to where our ad spend is only costing us 10% of our revenue on average, right? So if we can get our ad spend down to $6 per unit on average, then now we're looking at a gross margin of 16%. And we're looking at a gross profit of $9.50 per unit, right? So that's a lot closer to our goal of 20%, but we're not quite there. So we can decide, hey, we're just going to eliminate the PPC completely. We're just going to let this thing sell organically. Now, that's a decision that only you can make, because if you choose not to run PPC, you're going to make less sales, but you might be a little more profitable. But at the same time, when you run good PPC, not only does it boost your sales, but it also boosts your organic rankings. So PPC really does benefit you in a lot of ways, but if you're not willing to do it, or you don't want to learn it, or you don't want to outsource it, then you can pretty much just not do it at all. Just know that it's going to take your products longer to sell, longer to rank, and you just might not make as many sales at the end of the day. But let's assume we do no PPC. Well, now we're talking about a gross profit of $15.50 per unit, a gross margin of 26%. And guys, keep in mind, this is a bundle that nobody else has brought to the market, relatively easy to source. Our value add item is going to be a scooper that we can buy off Alibaba for $1.50 per unit and just put our brand name on it. So this could be a really good bundle opportunity for somebody that wants to take advantage. So guys, that is the bundle tutorial. If you want this particular calculator, a template for free, grab it at the link in the description below. If you guys want to try out SmartScout for yourself, you can take 25% off your first 3 months using the link in the description below or using the code Corey25. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know if this helped you.